Welcome to the CLS show. Marty Gallagher here with Jerry Richert Jr. Got a big race coming up for you guys here in about a week, 10 days we'll say. We're here tonight live at Cedar Lake Speedway practice night, and you're practicing the two-seater that you give rides with during the Jerry Richert Memorial Night. How's the night been with practice?
Good. We had some problems early. We got them figured out. We basically wanted to come out and test the car, make sure it ran. It hasn't ran since last year, so I want to thank Mick Anderson for providing that. Johnson Motors. It's just a great thing to have at the race, and it's just an added thing. People can come out and purchase tickets for a ride, and hopefully they get their name drawn and get to ride.
So you'll have a busy night come Saturday night here in September the 9th coming up, and you'll be giving a lot of rides that night, huh?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably only going to be, there's only time allotted for probably three rides. I know the first year we did it, we tagged the back of the traditional non-wing race and actually started the race and then pulled in, so that was an extra ride that year. But 3 to 4 is all we can do.
Racing-wise, history, your name, I mean, you've been around forever, but you yourself raced a lot of years. What was the last year that you raced?
My last race was in 2016, or the last season, I should say. So it's been a while.
And then, obviously, you're still around the sport, right? Has there been anyone that you've been helping out of late, or you just kind of help everyone out?
Well, my brother-in-law actually still drives. Brooke Tatnell, he's from Australia, and he races. We work on his car, and my whole team that was with me for quite a while actually moved to this car, and it's Dwayne Nelson owns the car. And I'm still involved with it. You do it. I did it for 36 years, and you do it that long, you can't just say, well, bye, I'm done. I have to stay involved, so it's fun.
We got Minnesota State Fair going on right now across the way. Obviously, a lot of rich history with your family around that place.
Yeah. My dad raced there every year for as long as they raced sprint cars there, and a lot of memories of going out to the fair. We went out there every year as kids, and we sat and waited for Dad to come out of the pits, because kids couldn't get in the pits, and things were different back then. But it was quite an experience to go out there.
Looking ahead here in the Jerry Richert Memorial Special with the IRA 410 sprint cars, you got also other sprint cars, you got 360s, traditionals. I've been able to be at these events numerous times in the past. For me, it's one of my favorite events. I remember a kid growing up, it was always the Knoxville IRA Challenge, Turn the Richert Memorial. A lot of these tracks are done now for their season, so you get a big group of sprint cars coming in. What does this event mean to you? I mean, there's so many layers that we could say about this event. It's the food, the family, the friends, and after the races. What's one thing that really sticks out, or a few things that sticks out for this event?
There's a lot of things. I mean, it's always a good race. For me, it's the input that I get for people telling me this is their favorite race of the year, and I get a lot of that, and that's just neat to hear. It's keeping my dad's legacy alive, and for the stuff he did for the sport, and the success he had. So it's just really fun. You just get together and visit and whatnot. So. Yeah, it's just it's a fun event. I enjoy hearing. I like the positive feedback. That's awesome.
Again, thanks for joining us here on the CLS show. Make sure you go on YouTube, like and subscribe here with Jerry Richert Jr. Do you ever get a chance to make it down to the Knoxville Hall of Fame? I believe your dad probably has some stuff in the Hall of Fame.
He does. They actually have a lot of my stuff. They have his stuff. I'm sorry, trophies and whatnot. They used to have a pretty big display. Of course, they can only do so much, but they still have a nice little display that shows his stuff. And that's pretty cool.
It's cool. You say, hey, Dad's in the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame in Knoxville, Iowa, and I don't know how many Minnesota drivers are in the Knoxville Hall of Fame, but I feel like that list is probably a little smaller compared to some other states throughout the United States or the world.
That's a good trivia question. I don't know if there's any in the. I mean, there is in the Knoxville Raceway Hall of Fame, but the National Sprint Car, I'm not 100% sure. Oh, and by the way, Brooke Tatnell, my brother-in-law that I work on his car, my nephew, his son, is going to be racing micros on that night as well. So. Perfect. Another event that
check out here at Cedar Lake Speedway, and that's coming up here in September, the early part of September. It's always the same time, same weekend. You just mark it on the calendar when the schedule comes out, because that doesn't change. Event-wise, what do fans need to expect? Is anything information-wise? Obviously, we know Facebook is very helpful. You go on Facebook, Cedar Lake Speedway, or you guys also have kind of a Facebook page that you guys send information out.
Yeah, my sister pretty much takes care of that. I'm not a Facebook person, but she takes care of that and does a good job. So, yeah, I mean, with social media, people can find out more about it if they want. It's hard to cover everything, but obviously it's September 9th. Hopefully we've had 22 years of good weather. I mean, doable weather. We've had questionable some years, but we've always got it in, so hopefully this year will be another year.
And then after the races, people need to come down to the pits, because I've been able to do that before. Dan Plan's probably done it. I know you kind of run that. I feel like you run the ship. Food.
We used to do that as a family, and Cedar Lake has provided us with the hot dogs the last couple years, which is nice. I gotta check with them. I'm kind of falling behind a little this year. It's not set up, but I'm gonna try and get it done.
Yeah. Well, either way, everyone needs to come down to that trailer in that area. Go check out the sprint cars, families here, the Jerry Richert Memorial. Jerry Richert Jr., thank you for your time here. The CLS show coming to you live from Cedar Lake Speedway here on a practice night.
Thank you.